Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like SOME.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how...
Nodes too.
All right, we're live. Hey, how goes it, bros? I'm Ken Bozak, here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories, and today I'm with my bro, Adam Barlam of Bravo Coin. That is bravocoin.com, where you can get paid to write reviews. How goes it, Adam?
What's up, bro? Doing pretty well, and yourself?
Enjoying the day, getting ready for Bitcoin Miami.
Very nice, very nice. Always exciting to get to a new conference.
Yeah, everybody, let me know in the chat if the quality of the live stream is all right. We were having some connection issues, so I just want to make sure everything looks good, sounds good. He says, do you want to buy some Divi? Hey, Paulie P, how goes it, bro? McLovin in the chat. We got Charlie, Amina. How goes it, everybody? Trying to make sure that the live stream looks good, sounds good. Let me know. Yep. All right. I tested it. Everything looks good. Everything's great. So I guess to start things off, Adam, could you do me a favor? And I know I've gotten to hang out with you plenty and to know you, but maybe my audience may not be too aware. Like, who's Adam? Like, before crypto, what were you like into, and how did that kind of lead you to your rabbit hole experience and what you're doing now in the industry with Bravo Coin?
All right, cool. Yeah, so I've always been into like Linux and open source stuff. When I was 13 years old, I was sick of like Windows blue screening on me, and this was like during like Windows 98 days. And I was like, this is just terrible. There has to be another way. And I went to an actual bookstore. This is when before you went to like Amazon to get books. I went to like Barnes and Nobles or Borders or something like that.
You could have just Googled
it. Yeah, no, this is like when people actually read books and went to like actual bookstores. And I remember I picked up a Linux for Dummies book when I was 13, and it was like a Red Hat 4 book, and it had the Red Hat 4 CD in the very back. And I dual partitioned my system and installed Linux. And after that, I kind of never looked back. I ended up removing Windows and really went down like the Linux and like the open source rabbit hole. And I feel like blockchain and like cryptocurrency is almost like an extension to that. Like people who are into like the open source and the Linux community, this was like a natural like segue, a natural path to go into like blockchain and crypto. So I initially started with Linux when I was 13. I used to set up like Apache servers and all these different backend systems. When I was actually in high school, I worked for this .com company, and we actually hosted. This was before like Firefox was like super popular. We hosted the official Firefox help site, and we used to get like hundreds of thousands of hits on Firefox release dates. So that was kind of fun. That was kind of like how like my first foray into like the open source community.
That's awesome.
And then from there, I worked at Intel for 6 years as a storage validation engineer. So this is kind of show you how dated I am. I started with Ultra 160 SCSI. And
sounds like gibberish. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I can shake my head and pretend I'm like, yeah, I know what that means, but I have no clue. What does that mean?
You repaired iPhones and computers, didn't you, in the past? You should know some of this stuff.
Yeah, but I was like a monkey with a wrench, bro. I just knew how to do the manual labor. I didn't know like the technicals behind it. I could still micro solder and do that like motherboard stuff, but I could never read schematics. Like, I was never that guy.
Yeah, so I did that for 6 years at Intel. I did validation of their storage controllers, and primarily in Linux. I mean, that's actually like, I got my start in Linux when I was like 13, and it was almost like it was actually very beneficial because all that knowledge I learned as a kid, I went into Intel, sophomore year in college, and they were like, oh, how do you have this knowledge? And I'm like, well, I'm
Dude,
using Linux when I
Linux
was
is
13
a
years
freaking
old.
interesting operating system. I like the more I learned about it, because of crypto. Actually, I got to learn more about Linux was because like the way Linux was created in such a sort of a decentralized open source way by some kid who was just like, I could do this better, and now it's actually in more devices than
Oh yeah.
like Windows or like it's in like lawnmowers and toasters. Linux runs
Oh yeah, all
everything.
IoT devices. Yeah,
Yeah.
Linux runs the world, and it was Linus Torvalds who created
So
it, and it was because the Unix licenses, where it was SCO owned Unix and the Unix licenses, and it was so expensive, and everyone wanted to have like a hobby kind of tinkering kind of system. So Linus created Linux to make it like an open source compatible variant of Unix,
yeah, it's like the
and that's how it all
Bitcoin of
started.
operating systems.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, and a similar like ethos, where it's open source and everyone contributes, and everyone gets into it, and the mail, and it's very similar community to what you find in like the blockchain in the
That
crypto
is
community.
interesting. McLovin just said Xbox runs on Linux. What? Interesting.
Microsoft Hotmail, they initially tried to launch it on Exchange, Microsoft Exchange's email system, and they had so many people signing up and using it that it actually crashed Exchange, and they couldn't use Exchange on the system, and they actually switched it over, I believe, to either Qmail or SendMail. They use like a pretty popular Linux mail distribution.
That is
But yeah, so even Microsoft couldn't handle their own software on their own site because and they actually used like an open source mail variant instead.
wow. Shout out to Linux, man. That is amazing, bro. So let's kind of move a little forward there into what you're doing now with Bravo Coin, and let the viewers know a little bit how like that started, what inspired you, how did it start, and where are you at now with the project.
Sure. So Bravo Coin was initially called Rosenya, and it was
no,
for the
boo.
first. Rosenya means review in Spanish. So
I'm sorry. Now I feel racist.
no, you're fine. You're fine. So initially, we wanted to build Bravo Coin as a centralized review platform for Spanish-speaking countries. And the reason why we had this idea is that like Yelp doesn't exist in like Mexico and these other countries, and even the word
Really?
Yelp itself in Spanish, yeah, it's like they primarily focus on the U.S. market share. And even like the word like Yelp in Spanish, the letter Y is an E sound, so it's like il. So it doesn't even mean anything. So like the marketing doesn't work well there, and so they just didn't really have a good footing in those areas. And Lorena, who's actually the other co-founder of Bravo Coin, is Hispanic, and her family's from Mexico. And we had this idea to export this concept of reviews to these Spanish-speaking countries. And about 6 months into it, so this was in 2016. I've known about Bitcoin and blockchain since 2011, 2012. And then around in like 2016, I really started getting into blockchain again. And we were like 6 months down the path, and I called up Lorena one day, and I was like, I have this radical idea. I want to switch our entire backend onto blockchain. And I explained like how we were going to do it, and how there was going to be rewards involved, and that basically we can do like revenue sharing and revenue splits now with users on the platform, and we can target like the US market and other markets. And I thought she was going to be maybe a kind of against it because with her Hispanic heritage and background, we were really going to push this concept with Rosenya. But literally after like 20 minutes, she's like, sold, let's do it.
Nice.
And we pivoted and we transitioned, and we actually forked Steam at version 0.19 and modified it and customized it and created Bravo. And so Bravo is pretty much reviews on blockchain. It's like a gamified social media type of platform where users are rewarded in Bravo Coin for the reviews that they place and for the amount of likes that they get on these reviews. So the more engagement that they get on their posts, the more community members that thumbs up their reviews, kind of that's a form of validation, like the community approves of it, and then as a result they earn more Bravo.
I think it's really interesting that you were doing this outside of the thought of using blockchain technology to begin with. It was already a project in development. It was going to be its own thing, and then you kind of was like, wait, blockchain, crypto, gamification. I could incorporate the two, and I think a lot of startups are starting to see the potential of implementing blockchain, but then you have the argument that not everything needs a blockchain, not everything needs a crypto or a token, not everything needs to be gamified in the sense where it has a token on a platform, sure. Right? So, there could be platforms that are out there, utilizing this tech in the right and wrong ways. I'm just curious, like, how's Bravo Coin avoiding doing it the wrong way?
Sure, and we get this question a lot, like, oh, why did you have to put this on blockchain? Yeah. And this goes back to you have to understand who's in the marketplace right now and what these companies are doing to small businesses. So the primary review platform that's out right now, everyone's aware of, is Yelp. And small businesses, large businesses, everyone caters to Yelp. Everyone needs to, tries to get a profile on Yelp. They try to get as many reviews on Yelp, as many stars as possible, because Yelp has such a stranglehold and a monopoly on the marketplace that if you don't have a Yelp profile, I mean, you're kind of screwed. You pretty much need one for visibility purposes. And a lot
of people use it for credibility too, right? Like, not a lot of people like to go to a restaurant where the menu is expensive,
exactly.
And you can't see any reviews on, what people have thought about paying so much for the food before you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, reviews are ingrained into our mindset now, mm-hmm. and our culture. And all this started around when Yahoo Auctions actually first came out. So Yahoo Auctions was like the first system to actually implement like a ratings and review system for sellers. And ever since then, like eBay adopted it, and and Amazon and all the e-commerce places, and then Yelp took that concept even further, and they said, let's apply this to restaurants and service businesses and so on and so forth. So the review concept is a very powerful and a very popular method of letting people know what your thoughts are, what to buy and what not to buy for anything from restaurants to blenders. And the problem is that we trust these reviews so much, right, that we don't worry in the back of our mind if they've been manipulated, if they're fraudulent, if they're biased, so on and so forth.
If they even came from a real person and not a bot.
Exactly. I mean, all these different things, and reviews are so powerful and such a monetary driver for these businesses. Actually, I quote this stat a lot. Harvard Business did a study a few years ago that every 1-star ranking you lose from your Yelp profile results in a 12% reduction in overall revenue. And if you think about it, this goes back to what you're saying. It makes sense. You check out these reviews before you go to a restaurant. You're like, oh, this has 3.5 stars. That's probably the cutoff for me. I only do 4 stars or greater. So there's a monetary incentive from a competitor standpoint, from a business standpoint, from Yelp's standpoint, to ensure that these businesses are paying money to get the highest rankings as possible, and to make sure that all these reviews that their platforms as popular as possible, so that they can drive revenue on the backside.
Right, and that's they have a monopoly on it too, so there's not much you can do. There's where else are you going to go besides Yelp? Like, seriously, name one. It's hard.
You really can't. There's nothing that really exists. I mean, you have TripAdvisor.
Google reviews is starting to. I was going to mention this in the podcast later, but I figure it's like a decent time to mention it now. I've seen Google reviews has actually started hitting me up with incentivized reviewing, where I can get Google Play credits, so I can get an app or something that costs $2 if I do reviews on Google Reviews. Since I have so much credibility on the Google review site, now they're starting to offer the monetization through that too. But besides Google and Yelp, there's not much. But I do wanted to mention, what are your thoughts on Yelp getting into this? Is there a way for them to sort of on ramp into it, or is it too much of a legacy that that bring on and incorporate into the new era blockchain reviewing?
So I think the issue is that it would cannibalize their existing business model, and their existing business model strictly revolves around sponsored ads and getting businesses to sign up and paying a monthly fee, and getting them to remove negative ads from their profiles.
So in other words, extortion.
Exactly. Digital extortion is kind of the game that they play, and it's unfortunate. And I've discussed this before in other podcasts with other other interviews. And the practices that Yelp engage in, they're not illegal, but they're not really morally or ethically right. So there's been over 10,000 cases actually against where small businesses have brought cases against Yelp, saying that they were extorted, or there were negative reviews that weren't for their business that popped up, and then Yelp told them that they need to get ads to remove them. And there's this huge issue with Yelp's business model where everything revolves around ad revenue. So you have these sales agents that their entire goal is just to get you to purchase these monthly ads. So when you have this type of model, you can't really change that business model with the infrastructure and the setup that they have without completely cannibalizing your existing business. So that's why we felt this was ripe for disruption, to create a model where where users are paid and compensated for the reviews. I mean, if you think about it, Yelp is like a $3 billion market cap right now, and literally that entire market cap was created because users are giving away their content for free.
Yeah, I got that. I hope everybody in the chat let me know if you guys got that. Somebody said we're having a lot of freezing, and I hope it's just maybe the video and not just the entire thing freezing. I don't know why I'm having an issue right now.
You were freezing a little bit earlier, but
I can see it happening right here. It's telling me I'm having low kilobytes per second, and my CPU and everything's being weird, and I do apologize. Hopefully it works out. And thank you, Amina, for the 420 super chat. This one's for you, Amina.
Woo!
It sounds exactly like why we didn't see Blockbuster compete with Netflix, because it wasn't within their business models, ROI. Like it didn't. The risk reward didn't really work out for them. They weren't in a position where they could have even afforded to rebrand their business profits the way that they do it, because of how cemented they were already as a business. And I think that's what a lot of these monopolies have, is a problem of being giants, that they're going to have a lot of baggage to bring with them if they wanted to evolve forward.
Exactly. They're almost complacent, and then you become complacent, and then when you become complacent, you become antiquated.
I'm just trying to make sure we're not frozen, and I feel like we might be. I'm sorry, bro.
No problem. You're freezing a little bit when you're talking. I see it.
I have no idea why it's doing this. It's like nothing is open that should be causing this issue.
So you're on 5G LTE is what you're on, or?
Yeah, 5G. My home router has 5G.
You don't have like actual Wi-Fi connected to cable or DSL or anything?
No, I just moved and the router's in the other room. I'm gonna have to get like a 50-foot Ethernet cable and make it work.
When I was a sophomore year in college, I lived in this apartment complex, and they had some sort of special agreement with this telco company here, and they only offered 256 kilobit DSL down and 25 kilobit up. It was terrible speeds. So I actually set up an open WRT router on my balcony, and I got a directional high gain antenna, and I pointed it towards the apartment complex across the street, and I was able to pull 6 megabits across the street from an open Wi-Fi point.
Yo, this one's for you, McLovin, for the 420 super chat. You guys are gonna get me stoned before the interview's over.
Are we back? Are we frozen anymore, or what's the deal? Are we good?
It looks like we're good on my end now. The chat let me know. I said quality check. Charlie says I'm frozen like a hungry meal. Yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie. My roommates laughed, but I spent $30 on Hungry Men dinner, and I ain't even mad. Best investment ever. Maybe not in my health, but God, they're good. Yeah, it looks like we're good to go now. My bad about that. So, we were talking about why Yelp and Google reviews and all these legacy review sites really kind of don't have the opportunities as Bravo Coin because of their legacy and their baggage, and they're pretty much again cemented in their profit
they're complacent
models, right? Exactly, and that really disincentivizes evolution. It's really hunger and discomfort, that forces you to do that. And even you did it. What was the name before it was Bravo Coin again?
Resenya.
I'm gonna have to remember that. Resenya. Even Resenya did that because you could, right? What could Yelp rebrand their name right now and sustain the same level of reputation? No, it's too late for
Yeah,
them. They're
yeah. I
stuck.
mean, yeah, they're already established. They already have that name out. So yeah, that would be a problem. And then another thing that you were mentioning with Google starting to offer different types of compensation. It was interesting. I heard another Bravo user talking about this. He's a Google local guide, which I guess you get some status after you do some
Dude,
sort of
yes,
amount
I
of
actually got
reviews.
an offer for that because of my reputation. Like, since I'm so
Okay.
reputable and I've been on Google review and doing things for so long, they offered me that I could do a tour of my city type shit. I was like, what the fuck?
So that's what this guy does, and he said initially Google was offering the same thing that they were offering you, like the free Google Play credits. He
Yep.
got I think he got like $100 in like Google Cloud credits or some other stuff. But then he said it just ended. Like they gave him a couple of things, and then he started doing more reviews, and it was encouraged to do it. And then they're like, okay, you're good. We gave you some free stuff. So I don't think it's like a sustainable. I don't think they plan on it having being a sustainable model. And then again, you still run into some of these issues with these review platforms where they're centralized, they're manipulated. Like Yelp filters reviews when they want to. They move things up and down in their list when they want to. This is all of our reviews are on blockchain. We can't modify, we can't edit it. It's immutable. Once it's there, it's there. And if people want to verify it via Block Explorer or another application, they can do so, and they can see all the reviews that are out on our platform, and that we don't touch it. We can't manipulate the data. All we're doing is just displaying it to you guys. So that's a big deal in the review industry, especially with so many fraudulent reviews. And then another thing that we've implemented is our proof of location device to ensure that
I
people
got
are
mine
within.
right over here somewhere. I got a shower, so I wasn't wearing it. I didn't want to break it.
So we have this device. Ken actually has a wearable one
Where
that
did I
proves you're
put it?
within proximity of where you say you are,
Yeah, I
and
told
it
you.
interfaces.
Right here.
There you go. So it interfaces with our application. It interfaces with the blockchain. So say we have this device at a local coffee shop. You can't have Bob from across the state who has a competing coffee shop, or across the county who hasn't been there. There you go, and leave a review, because they wouldn't let them, because it would detect that they haven't been within proximity of the location. And you may ask yourself, what about GPS and all these other solutions that they have now? The problem is that data you can manipulate it. GPS is spoofable.
And a lot of people use VPNs, and when I mean, I have a VPN, so if I left a review, it wouldn't even really tell you where I left it from.
Exactly. So yeah, I could be logging in a VPN from France, and saying that I was in Paris at this location
Right.
and I'm in the United States and I'm trying to leave a review. Maybe I'm doing it, as a malicious review. Maybe it's a positive,
Right, you
whatever
see
the case
malicious
may
reviews
be.
game theory, right? A lot of small businesses, like if you're talking to the right, like, hey, I'll give you $10 off if you go say this pizza store sucks. I'll give you
Yeah.
$10 off, at my pizza store. Like that's what happens, and they'll take, hey, family and friends, like I used to repair phones and stuff. We've seen
Hmm.
this happen where our competitors would just get their friends and family that have never been customers. We could go for their names on their reviews to the clientele in the system, never matched, always
Yep.
giving us bad reviews. I'm like, you were never a customer here. Like, do you have your receipt number?
Yep, exactly. And you know what? That's initially. So we were going back to how we came up with this idea for Resenya initially, and the issue that I had was that I previously ran a software as a service business, and we had a profile on Yelp, and we encountered these same types of issues where there were reviews coming in for people that have never worked with me before, and I would contact Yelp and they wouldn't remove it, and I'd have these negative reviews filter up onto my profile. And interestingly enough, these negative reviews started to come in right after I denied Yelp, saying I didn't want to purchase their sponsored ads and do their monthly marketing packages. And mysteriously enough, all of a sudden I started getting these negative reviews filtering towards the top. I was a 5-star profile prior to that, and it knocked me down to a 4-star. And like I said, once you get down 1 star, and that's an immediate 12% reduction in business revenue.
It's interesting. I just thought about this too, about how small businesses, sometimes you'll see even large businesses, opt out of review sites because of these issues.
Mm-hmm.
Or because of a lot of reviewers. I remember South Park did this the
Yeah, yep,
best.
the Yelp elites.
The Yelp elites, right? Exactly. And again, when I was working in the phone repair shop, shout out to Quick Fix in New Jersey. we would have people come in and kind of like, hey, I'm super elite Yelp reviewer. You want to give me 50%? You want to give me a free? You want to fix my phone for free, and I'll give you a good review? And we'd be like, well, we can't fix your phone for free, but we'll give you 10% off. Like that's what the normal. Everybody got 10% off if they did a review or something. And I ended up going to another shop, and we saw, you could see, clicked on the username. He left them a great review, and we made sure to leave us a bad one. I'm like, how were you a customer if both we didn't do business because you want it for free? So like these people would come in and kind of flex their power and say, and say like, hey, either give me stuff for free or for basically free, or I'll leave you a really bad review. And because of their eliteness, it really did affect it. Instead of like going down 1 star, it could go down 3 from one bad review out of like 1,000.
And that entire algorithm and process and formula that Yelp uses is like proprietary, and they won't tell anyone what it is. So you don't know as a business owner, what's affecting you, what's not, what reviews, have value and weight and which ones don't. And, it's just unfair. And, we're all about, blockchain is about fairness. It's about, removing the middleman. It's about trustlessness. And it's about, bringing the community and the people back together. And I feel like, like the mom and pop businesses that are getting exploited and don't have as much of a say in this new internet and mobile and e-commerce, arena that we're entering, because you have Amazons and all these bigger, corporations and monopolies that are just driving these small guys into the ground. I really feel like these guys, they need a voice, and they need platforms like BravoCoin and, other decentralized options where they can get away from, the big boys and still succeed and still compete on that same level.
What's interesting? Brad Mills brings up a good point. He asked me to ask you, so this is from the chat, and it is a good point. Have you heard of a Boomerang project? It's similar. And do you know of any other competitors kind of in the industry doing things similarly, maybe with different blockchains or different solutions?
I've never heard of Boomerang. I do know of, there is another coin. It's an ERC20. Oh, that's another thing. We never ICO'd. This was a 100% self-funded project between myself and my business partner. Just wanted to throw that out there. But there is another project that did ICO. They're an ERC20 token called Ravain. R is their ticker symbol. And basically what they're a review platform. They're a Web 2.0 review platform. So they have a website called ravain.org. And basically they review like coins and projects and some other things. But their system's kind of, I don't want to hate on them, but I've read their white paper and I've gone through their system. It's almost like a moderated type of review platform where you submit it to them and they like moderate it. And I don't like that. I want something that's like decentralized where, there's no moderations. The review goes up regardless. I feel like this is kind of like there's some filtering and some funny stuff going on there. So that's one issue that I'm not very pleased with that platform. Another issue is that from last time I checked, so they did an ICO, and then they have this, the separate Ravain dashboard or platform that, where you do all the voting and the reviews on. But the tokens that you get issued on the Web 2.0 platform aren't transferable. They haven't put in the hooks yet, even though they ICO'd, so that you can't transfer your ERC20 that you earn on the Web 2.0 platform to an exchange or get it out of there. So I could believe that the only trading, and this could have changed recently, but I checked about 6 months ago, and this was still the case, and I was mind baffled by this.
And that is the big difference right there, is you already have liquidity. BravoCoin has liquidity already. I know I could, I have a decent amount of coin. I could sell them if I wanted to on an exchange.
You could go on right now and sell. There's buy orders right now on there. So, Ravain, you can't transfer your coins in and out from the web platform. So I believe all the trading that's going on is this ERC20, ICOs rather, the ICO tokens that were bought.
I'm not a huge fan of things on Ethereum.
So we can talk about that.
Of, like the cost of the network with gas
and
things like. Does it?
That's why we didn't launch. That's why we didn't do it on Ethereum. So we launched this in, or we started developing this in 2016. Ethereum was an option when we were developing this. But that was my main concern, was that there were a couple of concerns. One is that Ethereum's throughput and their amount of transactions per second. When you start having something like a social network where every post, every comment, every like, every transfer of coins back and forth, all that is data and an operation that needs to be written to a block. That's a lot of transactions that start happening. You start scaling and getting lots and lots of users.
Hey, Race Crypto. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hey, there he is. What's up, Chris? How's it going? So yeah, as you get more and more transactions, you have to ensure that you're going to scale properly and that your throughput can handle all this. And with what CryptoKitties did to the Ethereum network, we were pretty concerned that if we got hit like a good stride, that we would either A, take the transactions per second down, it would be so slow and crawling, or B, just the gas fees would just eat it up. I mean, when you think about, like I was saying, every single vote and, review and comment and reply, all that stuff is an operation, a transaction that's written to a block. That's expensive on the Ethereum network. That's, every single time we would have to be paying gas fees for that. And I actually did some math on my own. Even like at our current state, the what we'd have to pay in gas fees would just be ridiculous. It wouldn't be feasible. So that's why.
And yeah, I think people would be disincentivized from the user experience level or something like that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I think these platforms, especially where like you have to, like they have some social media and social network types of platforms that run on top of Ethereum or ERC20, where you have to pay to post. And I just don't see people outside of the crypto community adopting that type of solution or scenario. All of our users grew up, current users who are on Facebook and Instagram and Yelp and all these other platforms, they're used to a free environment where it's not pay to play. It's going to be a very hard value proposition to entice these users to move over and say, you want to have a social network and, use a social, being a part of the social community, you have to pay to use and you have to pay to post. Like if Facebook was like, it's $5 a month or $10 a month to start, to use our platform, I guarantee there'd be a mass attrition.
Yeah, exactly. And Brad Mills says, why didn't you use BSV? Well, Brad, because it was way before that. And I guess we already touched on like, why you didn't use like Ethereum and stuff, but like I guess that goes to say the same reason why you wouldn't have used Bitcoin's blockchain or like a fork.
Exactly. I can't do a 10-minute block with the way our platform works. I would just delay everything. We'd have to batch stuff up. It's just not a feasible solution. So that's why we went with we needed a faster blockchain, something that can scale, something that can handle the amount of transactions per second that we were putting forth, and that's why DPoS. Or delegated proof of stake was a good solution for us.
I love these blockchains being so open source, bro, that it can just be copy paste, change just however you need it to be changed, and it's yours. Like Steam blockchain is just like, here, we did all this fucking work. Here's the proof of work concept, steemit.com, that can show you this is how the blockchain works and how you can work it as a proof of concept demo, and you just take it, change it,
and then modify it,
and that's the thing.
And that's the beauty of open source software, and like really why I got into this whole industry and blockchain. It really is reminiscent of like the open source.
People don't realize though, right? Like people don't realize that when you're investing in a cryptocurrency or its blockchain, that it's like because it's great doesn't mean people will use it. They could fork it. So just because you invested in Steam doesn't mean you got a shit ton of Bravo when Bravo created. It's just keep an eye on the projects you love, but also keep in mind that whatever they've made, if they made it right in an open source manner, which is true, it'll probably be forked before it's adopted. A lot of people think, because of the hash rate and this and that. I'm like, not true. That's not true. A lot of people worry about their own servers. They just do their own, mining for their blockchains until it picks up.
Yeah, or you can, or I could fork it and then I could change the hashing algorithm and go to a different hashing algorithm.
Right.
So similar code, but it's just different proof of work. I'm doing, I'm like you put in Equihash.
And you see pools of miners, they mine random coins, blockchains because whatever's profitable at that minute. That's really
whatever the most profitable.
You'll pick it up if you're out there. And you mentioned something really interesting. I do want to touch on it. Was a lot of these projects, like the ones you were mentioning, on the Ethereum and stuff, where you have to pay to post, don't really speak to outside of the crypto community or like the crypto bubble of users, like the maximalists that we have right now in the 0.5% of mass adoption or whatever we're at. But what I think you're doing with Bravo Coin is something that would appeal to people outside of it, even though like a lot of people think it's a convoluted process to kind of sell coins and this and that, but I think there's other ways to use cryptocurrencies inside platforms without incentivizing cashing out.
Exactly.
And I just wanted to see with what you're doing as far as a user experience goes is not having to know all this back end crypto stuff and be able to use Bravo Coin as a review site. How do you plan on, getting Bravo Coin more utility outside of just cashing it out?
Sure. That's an awesome question. So like I said, we're DPoS. So DPoS is delegated proof of stake. So we're a proof of stake based blockchain. So that's one of the first things is that users have an incentive to hold on to the Bravo because we have a weighted voting algorithm. So the more Bravo that they're holding, the more that they're going to earn for author rewards and curation rewards on the platform, and the more influence that they have on the platform, much like Steam. So that's one incentive for users to hold on to the Bravo. Another incentive is that we're now working with local businesses. We're giving them our proof of location device, and then they can actually put Bravo on these devices. They're going to accept Bravo in their place of business. We have full e-commerce functionality. So basically, what we envision is that it's going to be like a circular, cyclical kind of microeconomy where you leave a review for the indie coffee shop down the street. You earn some Bravo. You then go to this coffee shop. You utilize your Bravo. You pay them with your Bravo for a cup of coffee, a latte, a cookie, and upgrade, something like that.
It sounds like you're basically saying in a lot of words, loyalty points.
Exactly,
or
and that's
points.
Exactly.
And this is something that these businesses already have and use.
Exactly. They're very used to this.
The difference I want to mention is coming from a small business, guys. It is expensive as hell. There are so many borders of entry for a small mom and pop shop to get involved in the economy of loyalty points or rewards points. Those companies engagement are like super Nazis, bro. I don't like them at all. Like, it's really hard and expensive. It's like 6 figures just to start.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've looked at a number of them. So what we've done is, we've built like a customer loyalty and engagement platform where small businesses can now claim their profile, they can sign up, and basically they can utilize the data from the blockchain review data. So basically they can say, say this indie coffee shop that you went to, maybe the previous week, they were light on staff. They didn't have as many baristas, so they thought the service wasn't that great. Maybe they got a couple of 3-star reviews as a result. With our platform, you can say, I want to target anyone in the past week who gave me a 3-star review or less, and I want to send them, a coupon code or a certain amount of Bravo to encourage them and entice them to come back to my establishment, to try out my business again. So basically, we've built an entire vendor marketing and analytics dashboard that ties into the blockchain, ties into our application, and allows these businesses to kind of do hyper-targeted local marketing to get more business into their locations.
Nice. Perfect.
So yeah, and that, like I said, we have our proof of location device. So for instance, you can go to this coffee shop, and as soon as you walk into the coffee shop, you're going to get rewarded with crypto. You're going to get rewarded with like a 10% off coupon, and it's going to be validated because they know that you're actually there in the physical presence of this device.
And like I said, because of the hardships of just even starting a loyalty program for these small businesses, the only problem they have now is knowing other solutions like Bravo Coin exist and then implementing them. And I think that that's going to be a difficult learning experience for small businesses. They're already having issues with payment processors and SEO and all search engine optimization for everybody, like all this stuff that comes with being a small business. That is this something that is worth their while? How is this something that we could help them understand the potential behind and see if we can encourage them that it is worth their while to implement this kind of a system?
So one thing that's really key, especially for like the coffee shop, is a good example. Any type of like business, or especially like mom and top type of businesses that have small ticket items that are accepting credit cards right now. So you have like a coffee shop that has like a $3.50 coffee, and then they have an account with Chase or Visa, and they take a credit card transaction on that. Well, just on that one swipe of their credit card, they're going to hit with a 35-cent transaction fee, and then a 3% or sometimes up to 4%, depending on if you're using a rewards card, against the transaction as well. So if you start to think about that they could be losing like 20%, 25%. Just on transactional fees for a small ticket item, which could completely erase their margins. So you think about moving them over to something like Bravo, where we're a feeless chain. They could go ahead and accept the Bravo for $3 in Bravo, $4 in Bravo, not have to pay that transactional fee, and then still get the benefits of the customer being happy. The coins themselves are worth something. They can cash them in if they want to. They can hold on to them. They can use them on our platform for digital marketing purposes. So everything that's on our platform, all upgrades that businesses can do to their profile, If they want to do sponsored ads via impressions, if they want to, load up the beacons, everything's done through Bravo to encourage them and to accept the coin and to utilize it on the platform.
How do I know that the business I'm reviewing actually owns the profile that I'm leaving the review on, and not somebody else just like creating an account so they could basically steal reward coins from people leaving reviews?
So from a business profile perspective, all that we have over like 3.5 million restaurants right now listed on our profile. All the data, verification data we call it. So whether it's like a phone number associated with a business or an official domain or URL. So we've pulled that data from authoritative sources like Google, like Yelp, like TripAdvisor.
So there's like APIs and stuff like that that you can source.
So yeah, so we have authenticated sources that we verified this is the phone number for this business, and then if you actually want to claim that business, you would get a text message code or a voice verification code to that specific phone number. So we already have it saved in our database that like this is the Starbucks number for this Starbucks down the street or whatever. So if someone wanted to claim it, they would actually have to have access to that phone number. So it'd have to be like someone in the location or corporate or something like that. So that's how we verify that just not anyone can go ahead and claim the profile.
Gotcha. I'm trying to think of like any other ways to game theory a platform like this from like a malicious end user perspective, right? Like if I can earn from leaving reviews, and it doesn't really matter if they're like a good review or a bad review as far as like a positive or negative, thumbs up, thumbs down, as long as it's like worded very thoughtfully,
yeah, worthwhile and
has
correct.
I could just go around and write a bunch of reviews for a bunch of places that are popular, that a lot of people actually engage with the threads of reviews on, and falsify reviews, because not all of them you have to have proof of location for, right?
Sure. So yeah, and so the only way that would work is if other people actually liked your review and started giving you a thumbs up.
But that's what I mean,
review.
right? So if you left a really good, like if you read a couple reviews and left a really good fake review, you could potentially earn off that.
You could potentially do that, but that's why we have created this proof of location device, and that's really our initiative going forth for moving forward for this year, is that we want to get as many businesses as possible on the proof of location device so that we can eliminate those types of issues.
Now, I'm a fan of IoT as much as anybody. I love it, but sometimes it just feels like we're going back to having more accessories than less. Like, I have a smartphone and it has all these accessories in it. Like, I don't need to carry a calculator and an MP3 player and a camera and all. Well,
you wouldn't carry this device. This would actually be like a plugged-in device that's only at the business.
Right.
So
but
this
is
would be
there
at like
any
your
way
register.
for this to already Isn't there any way they could already use the iPad that they're using for Square or whatever payment?
So
they could have a NFC or something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
So it's funny that you actually mentioned that. So we have another version coming out where you're going to be able to, and this is going to be good for you when you go to these events, where you're going to be able to enable it from your phone and basically go into a beaconized mode. So I was thinking about that for businesses, and that could work. The only issue I potentially foresee is that it would have to be like a business iPad or like a business phone. And I feel like a lot of people have their own personal items that would come and go, as they go, as they leave the business, which is why something like this that's plugged in permanently, I think for a business may be a better solution, like a brick and mortar, because it doesn't move. It's under the counter, it's by the register. And it's actually very, very cost effective. It doesn't cost very much at all. And we've actually started to incorporate other functionality into this device. So this is actually
like advertisement beacons, I would say, because a lot of businesses have beacons now. When you walk into American Eagle or some fancy bougie place like Aeropostale, you get a notification on your phone from nowhere. It's what the hell just happened? And it's hey, don't forget to check out aisle 3 for the discounts or something.
So not only can we have that functionality with the proof of location, but what we're also doing is we're enabling digital menu capabilities. So basically,
that would be lit.
So basically, any type of store, this has an HDMI port, and already through our dashboard, our vendor dashboard, say you're this, we'll go back to the indie coffee shop. You can go onto your vendor dashboard, and you can create items that you want to sell, e-commerce based items. So you can put on there coffee and scone and cold brew and whatever, and then it instantly pops up on the app. And then users within the app can add it to cart, and they can check out, and then it automatically ships and sends the order details to the mom and pop business. And this is actually huge for smaller businesses that don't have a web presence, don't have a mobile presence.
Right.
The only presence that they can potentially have is like through Uber Eats or one of those
Yeah,
places.
but they
that,
steal 30%.
oh yeah,
bro.
they
I
take
just
30%.
realized
Exactly.
that. I thought Uber sucked, but Uber Eats is like just
Yeah,
as evil.
30%. So you think about like, you know, these mom and pop businesses, they're just getting killed left and right
Dude,
from all these
I
different.
feel like such a dick when I order Uber Eats from a small pizza shop. I didn't realize they lost 30% on every sale. Like that's
Yep.
crazy.
So yeah, so that's 30%. So we offer the capabilities where they can upload and onboard and put on all the items that they sell, and it's instantly available on the app. People can go ahead and check out, and it shoots a message directly to their dashboard, to their phone, wherever, letting them know that the order came in.
Right, and the only reason I like to use like Uber Eats over calling that pizza shop is just because I can just hit order and
It's convenient.
I can pay for it. I don't have to give them my credit card information over the phone and they type it in, and who knows if somebody's like if I'm on speakerphone or something during a busy day, like you know. So I this out of the convenience and security too as well, like digital commerce is a little bit different nowadays, right? Like people like to have that not just convenience but security as well, and I think that's a better way of doing, you know, doing things like that way. And yeah, that is bananas, bro. 30%. The chat's like, yeah. Ask your local small business how much Uber Eats charge, and you'll notice when you go to the menu at the physical business, the menu there is a lot cheaper than the digital menu on Uber Eats because
absolutely, they got to mark it up.
And they've done this before when American Express and Visa started charging them 3 to 5% per transaction. They just upped everything about 3 to 5% that they sell to make up for it, right? So it is, the cost is always pushed onto the consumer, even though it's like illegal, but it's just priced into the services or goods, and not at the end when you get you know, when you check out.
Yeah, it's actually interesting what you said, where it's actually against the terms of service for all these merchant providers to mark up your prices. You know, if you're like whatever percentage that you're getting charged for a merchant account. So you can actually, I mean, everyone does it, but they actually say you can lose your account if like you charge an extra 5% if you do a credit card transaction or something like that. Yeah. Like it needs to be, you're supposed to be in line with the same type of prices that like
I didn't want to throw
has.
anyone under the bus, but that was some of the conversations I've had with the small businesses using Uber Eats, where I mentioned that. I was like, well, you know, can you even sell your pizza for 30% more on Uber Eats? Is that legal? And they're like, everyone else does it.
I mean, it's legal. It's just against their terms of service, so they can potentially get shut down for it.
Right. Well, that's what I meant. Legal in the sense of the platform's laws.
Yeah.
So what other platforms could do what you're doing with review sites when we start to look at these gamified platforms? You know, I don't think many people, obviously, you know, there's not much competition in what you're doing, you know, thought of doing what you're doing, gamifying a review platform. What other types of platforms do you think could be gamified, and how could they do it?
I think social media and social networks are ripe for gamification. And I think blockchain is gonna influence a lot of this. So I mean, even on our platform, when we initially built this, we didn't anticipate it would be almost like a mini social network. And it's interesting that a lot of the reviews that are on our platform, the amount of comments and replies people get in these threads that go back and forth.
I've seen that, dude. It is more of a social. It has become a social platform.
It's very interesting that and you know and now these people, we have a lot of users on our platform, and they're friending other users, and they're like, oh, I love the reviews that Ken's leaving, you know, and so I follow him. You know, Ken likes Apex Legends. Ken likes this game. You know, that's those are the same types of games I like. I'm following him now, and I'm reading all of his reviews, and it's kind of turning. It's like a review social network. It's kind of morphing into, which is kind of interesting. And it's great because our community is so active. You know, everyone helps each other out. We have users send each other gifts, you know, when they come into our new Telegram chats. So, I mean, like our community is just very, very adopting and very welcoming of new users. And I feel like a lot of our users on our platform are new crypto users, and that's why they appreciate our platform, because it's so easy to use. It's very intuitive. It's very similar to existing platforms that exist. So it's an easy transitional, you know, an easy segue to just hop on and start using.
It's the most comfortable way to get involved with crypto too. When you talk to a lot of people that almost call it no coiners, right? Like about crypto. If you tell them any way to honestly earn, you know, cryptocurrency in any way where it is an honest way and there is liquidity, you can, you know, use an exchange to sell your Bravo coin as you earn it if you really want. And I think that incentivizes people to sort of test those waters in these platforms because of a monetized incentive.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's a lot easier to get someone to spend some of their time than to spend some of their capital. And like people who are somewhat interested in cryptocurrency, but they're nervous about the volatile nature of like Bitcoin and other cryptos. And they saw like the only thing that they see in their head is that Bitcoin was $20,000 and then it went down to 3,000. They don't see anything in between. They don't see previous year's history. All they see is that, hey, I could have put in $100. Like it could be worth, $15 now. And that's nerve wracking. That's not.
We should change the mentality. Instead of saying if you would have put $100 in at X, how about if you would have had a computer with this graphics card running for this amount of time, you could have earned X amount of Bitcoin, which is now worth.
Exactly. So it's that whole earning proposition, and spending your time or doing something that you're already doing, and to be able to capitalize on that. That's a great value proposition. Like we feel like that's an easy way to draw in people who aren't really familiar with cryptocurrency or blockchain into this ecosystem. And just having an application that runs and is functional and can have blockchain or crypto on the back end. But they don't really know like the technological or the know-how of what's going on. It's not complex for them. They just know there's some stuff in the background going on and it works. And that's kind of like what we need to get to in this industry. It's almost like when the internet first came out. We had email and BBS, and like it was complex to do all this stuff in the very beginning. And then they modified and refined it and made it easier and easier and easier to the point where where we are now, where everything runs on the internet. Everything's very user intuitive. Everything's we're just at the very early stages of this in the blockchain and the crypto industry. So, and what we need to do is we need to improve these user experiences if we want to get the average user into crypto. MetaMask, some of these other applications are way too complex for the average user to use. And even just like the whole private keys issue and storing your private keys and making users aren't used to this type of thing. So in order to achieve mass adoption, we need to make sure that this process is as seamless as possible and as easy to use as possible, or everything that we're doing is going to be
I have to disagree. I think they are used to this. You know how many people are used to these tap pay games, like these random little once a day you get a fucking, like my cousin has a bunch of them. I was just telling him there's a bunch that are scams, and unfortunately he learned that a few of them that he's been playing are. But there's a ton of these games that are on the app stores that they have these fake casinos or scratch offs, and you can if you earn dollars and dollars throughout months, you can get to like 10 or 20 bucks and you can get it PayPal and get cashed out. But after months of playing the game and earn 20 bucks and realizing there is no PayPal cash out, they just wasted your time making you watch all these ads. But again, if you go to these app stores, there's so many people that do download and play these tap pay incentivized apps. Like they're basically toilet time killers, So I think that it is there. It's just getting more awareness, that attention on the project, on the product, and getting more end users and marketing more so to the people that already use those similar types of applications. Because what Bravo Coin is doing isn't just a review app. Again, it's not even just becoming just a social media app. It is one of those tap to earn apps where people could earn a couple bucks throughout the month.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It is very realistic that you could earn $20 worth of Bravo within a couple months. Very similarly to the scammy apps that already exist that have nothing to do with crypto at all. But so there are people interested in these honest apps that do what you do. So you may have to think of marketing into so many different avenues.
Different demographics.
Exactly.
Yep. And actually, we have if you get a top trending, so we have like a trending feed on Bravo Coin, kind of like Twitter has. If you actually hit the top of trending recently, you're earning about $12 for one review right now. So shit. we're at like almost 900 sats right now. So yeah, it's like six and a half cents.
You're doing a lot better than Hex.
This is very true. But we have a legitimate project that we've been working on for 3 years. So. And it's these projects that have been building for the past couple of years that have had their ear to the ground. Those are the projects that are going to succeed. The projects that have been building during crypto winter, and the ones that have really endured this this downturn and really believe in the technology and where this is all going. Those are the projects you have to follow.
I think again to highlight, and I mentioned this earlier, and I don't even think he really knew this, but I have Bravo Coin as a sponsor in the intro ads of my videos, and it's not like Bravo pays me. Adam does not pay me for that ad spot. I just love what he's doing, and I put it in there. But I do want to tell people download the app, start using it, and start gaining that reputation where you have a chance to actually earn some satoshis by leaving reviews. Like what you guys are doing is really amazing, but I wanted to segue back to what you were saying, and I think what's most important about successful projects are what you were doing before you even incorporated crypto and blockchain. You were building this. You were already doing it. And I think people have to look at projects that were already a thing before they started to incorporate, because these are the projects that I think are going to have the most success. Not just ones that created something because there was blockchain, but things that already were building and then found use for what blockchain offered.
Valid use cases for blockchain. And you're going to start seeing that in a lot of different industries. Like blockchain is going to affect about 95% of industries that are out there one way or another. So we're just this is just the beginning of it, and you're going to start seeing all these different projects that are going to start emerging that are really going to be disruptive to traditional businesses. And
McLovin said 869 sats now.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we since WCC, that was November or October 31st and November 1st, we've had almost 50% growth in our user base, which is pretty amazing.
I hope my ad helps with that.
and that's another thing I wanted to mention is that first of all, we appreciate you so much for talking about Bravo and bringing up.
I just love what you guys are doing. Genuinely, like straight up, like respect.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I just want to mention that we have never paid any influencers or anyone for any type of marketing. And that's a big thing. People like you, influencers, other community members, they just like our project so much that they share it and they talk about it. And that's like just so awesome. It's such like, an affirmation a reaffirmation that our project is something good and something that's valuable and something that people like. To just see people talking about it and writing articles about it and publishing stuff on Steemit about it or PubbleShocks or even Uptrend saying, hey, check out BravoCoin,
right.
These other decentralized networks, and letting other people know that BravoCoin exists as well. It's just so cool to just
that's actually a prime demographic for you to reach out to, right? Is those that use Steemit, the ones that use Uptrend or Twitch or whatever it's called, that weird one that I don't know. I just started using Twitch. Yeah, it's weird, but I just started using Twitch, and all these other platforms that already utilize cryptocurrency in a way where the platform is a gamified platform and having a presence there. So like maybe does BravoCoin have its own Steemit account? Does BravoCoin have its own Twitch and its own Uptrend accounts?
We have an Uptrend account, we have a PubbleShocks account, and we have a Steemit account.
Okay, cool.
We have to be a little more due diligent though about posting on that. We slack a little bit on those networks, but
why is it so hard to find one place that's an oracle where I could just like log in, like like Restream is amazing with the RTMP keys.
Yeah, and just propagates everything.
Why can't I do that with these platforms right now in 2020?
I feel like
I live in the future, but I can't just post one place and have it go to 10 different things because convenience. Fuck that.
It's coming. I think it's coming. You're going to
I
start
think the platforms work against it, right? Like I think the platforms like Facebook and Twitter and all these social media platforms.
Well, yeah, because they don't want you going to a competing source,
right?
So
they want you to go see ads on their platform, right?
It's like when Facebook, if you post a link on Facebook that's like to Twitter or like or YouTube or a non-Facebook.
See that.
Well, not only that, a non-Facebook owned entity, it triggers our algorithm. You don't get as many views because they know that you're leaving their network, and they want to make sure people are on their network so that they get the ad dollars.
Speaking of people leaving networks, we should probably let them know the BravoCoin blast code.
Oh yeah, that's right. The blast code.
Probably end up leaving the live stream because they have to go and open the app. So I'm gonna post the Bravo code, the blast code for BravoCoin app right here. So go ahead and download the BravoCoin app, Android, iOS, bravocoin.com. And he's gonna play a video on how to do. So here's the code. Ready?
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So basically, what these Bravo blast codes are, it's pretty much free crypto. We call them earn drops. So they're 16-character codes that basically award you a random amount of crypto based upon a bell curve. So I set a minimum, I set a maximum, and it's 100% random. What you get in between is up to you. So basically, the process of doing this is you go into your profile, into settings, and then there's a section called Bravo Blast Code that you select, and you enter in the code. And I have a little video that I'm going to play that so you guys can see exactly how it works. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So I'm going to my profile, scroll down to the bottom, On Android, it's going to be in your hamburger menu on the left-hand side. Go into settings, and then we have our blast code. And we have a special blast code today, bro.
Yeah, it's Ken is your bro.
Ken is your bro is the special blast code. So
Ken with two N's, okay? If you spell it wrong, you will not be rewarded. As should.
And there it is. So go forth and get that blast code and get some free Bravo for yourself.
All right, man. Thank you, dude. That is awesome. And I think that's an interesting thing businesses could do as well, right? Like to incentivize their customers to, just engage with the network, right? That, a small bomb pop shop or whatever could have their business name and some other random word or like, John's Pizza Place or something, whatever.
Exactly. And they can incentivize their customers. Code. Not only that, they can. We've even set it up so that in their vendor dashboard, through the proof of location beacon, they can set up like a random amount when you check into the location. It can be like a tiered amount. So say they're like, we want people to come in for our Monday lunch special, this pizza place. Well, the first 3 people who come in are going to get more crypto than the people who check in after the first 3. And you can kind of create like that kind of like demand, like, oh, I'm going to get something for free, or I'm going to get a larger discount if I get there first. So we have all these different types of gamified things that are going on that revolve all around crypto and blockchain and customer engagement, customer loyalty.
Everyone's commenting how much, and I feel bad for Rice. He's got the least with 4.8, and then we got Bitcoin broke with 15.8. McLovin got 5.7. Hey guys, good luck. Crypto Nana says 3.0. So hey, you got yourself some sats, and like I mentioned, like you could hodl these, or you could exchange them right now for some Bitcoin. You could get some satoshis right now.
Absolutely, write reviews and stack sats.
Now, and how hard would that be for Bravo Coin to incorporate like the ability for somebody to say, once you've earned X amount of Bravo, you could just hit a convert button and get your sats?
So it's interesting. I was literally just going to bring that up. So one thing that we're working on for a future release is going to be instant shapeshifting capabilities.
I lost like half of my viewers.
They're like, we got the blast code. We're out. Later, guys.
Well, they're probably putting it in and still doing stuff, but I just saw the number. I was like, oh, that's funny.
So I just lost my train of thought. What were we talking
about converting Bravo to
okay.
Click of a button.
Yeah, so like I said, we want to make this application as easy to use as possible. That's one actually pain point right now is new users who have never used crypto before. They're not going to go on an exchange. That's like way too complex and way too scary for anyone who doesn't know that environment to hop on there and see all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to have pretty much live swapping, like an atomic swap or shape-shifting capabilities, where we're going to automatically connect into APIs of exchanges we trade on, figure out whatever is the best pricing, and then you're going to be able in real time to swap to Tether or BTC or whatever we're trading against, basically, and then have that sent automatically to an external wallet. So we actually already have support now. We already have support now in Bravo for Bitcoin and Ethereum and any ERC20 based coin. To actually give that out through blast codes and through our proof of location device. So we're going to implement that same thing where you can kind of automatically swap and send your coins to an external address or external wallet.
So I just wanted to say you could definitely monetize that from a business perspective. If a coin wants to be listed on Bravo Coin as a coin that is one of those easily convertible coins too, because obviously you could send your Bravo to any exchange that it trades on and trade it for whatever. But if you want to trade it for something specifically out of convenience in the app, a project could put out a bounty or I guess like pay a listing fee or something like that. And I did want to segue into, so how does Bravo Coin make money?
Sure. So we have a software as a service model for businesses. Like I said, we have that vendor dashboard and marketing and analytics capabilities. So basically any business can claim their profile. They have the ability to see analytics data such as like the number of user views, their bounce rates, time spent on the profile, click-through ratios, pretty much the things that you'd see in, like Google AdWords or analytics or something like that. We have this built into our platform on the back end. Not only that, businesses are able to utilize our marketing capabilities as well. So our platform has SMS, MMS, and push notifications capabilities. So, and it's all opt-in based. So say you go to a coffee shop down the street, you review it, After, if you reviewed it, say like 4 stars or better, it's like, hey, a little pop-up comes and say, do you want to receive promotional deals from, indie coffee shop? And you're like, oh yeah, I like indie coffee shop. You click OK, and then all of a sudden you're placed into a list on their dashboard that you're opted in to receive any sort of promotional deal that they may run.
That is
and like
genius, bro. Coming from a small business perspective, like if you have
it's
a
warm
slow
leads.
hour, right? You could have like, I know these are customers of mine for facts, right? And
Correct.
I can reach them directly and incentivize them to come and do business with me at times I know I'm going to be the slowest. So instead of
and you
happy
know what they
hour,
like already,
right? Like, that's what happy hour is. Happy hour is basically a business saying, shit, we don't see much lunch traffic, so what do we do?
Yep. So exactly, and what we provide is we provide that closed feedback loop that's missing right now, and then basically they can use that feedback loop to do hyper local marketing. So like I said, we have the SMS capabilities. Text message marketing is very, very effective. Text messages have a 99%
I opt into every
open rate.
dispensary that offers it. Like, just for the record, every dispensary that I've ever gone to offers text message ads, and it only works if you get the ad. But if you get a text message, they're usually like half off joints or 30% off an eighth or something, and you have to show them that you opted into the ad. So like you're incentivized to opt in and rewarded for doing so.
Yep, exactly. So we take that same methodology. And then one thing that we have, which is kind of cool, which no one does, is that we have push notification capabilities. So because we're running an actual app, we can send push notifications over data and not incur SMS or MMS charges. So we can actually offer this.
So you use Bravo for that? Does like a business have to pay Bravo coin in Bravo to
They would use Bravo to be able to purchase these push notifications basically, and it'll be a fraction of the cost of sending an SMS or an MMS message.
Interesting. So, now I wanted to say, like, how does, if I opt in and someone's paying for it, do I get rewarded every time I see an advertisement? Because otherwise it's like, it is opted in, but it's still kind of at a level maybe potentially spam.
So basically, you can opt in or opt out whenever you want to. It's all within the app. So if you feel you're getting too many messages from them, you can type in stop or uncheck yourself right within the profile itself. So it's literally just like a toggle button.
Is there a way for a business to see how many people opted into this feature?
Yep. So we have that all in the dashboard. This is all contained in the analytics. You can actually, you can not only see who has opted in, you can actually click on individual profiles and then get more of a drill down of that user and how it relates to your business. So like I said, we have the e-commerce functionality. So you can see how many orders they placed with your business, how many times they've checked into your business, what the review was of your business, so on and so forth, so that you can, go ahead and hopefully try to market to them to that warm lead.
That's a whole new ballpark for loyalty as far as it goes with businesses, because, especially when you look at like franchises and bigger businesses, when they have like what they call a loyalty point system, it doesn't feel like it at all. You don't really feel like you're a part of
and that's another huge thing that and that's good that you mentioned that, like franchises. The current loyalty systems, it's like the airlines. Like if you get airline miles with Southwest or US or American Airlines or Delta or whoever, you're siloed and you can't utilize.
It's so annoying.
It sucks. So I have like 20,000 miles with Southwest, which isn't enough for that's maybe enough for a one-way flight. And then I've got 10,000 with Delta because I'm going different airlines, and you can't interchange them. We wanted to build an agnostic-based loyalty system where you're earning Bravo, and that works at the indie coffee shop, or you can go to the pizza place down the street that's also on the Bravo platform. And the huge thing with these loyalty programs, or even you being like previously working in the iPhone repair, is that when you send out coupons or you send out discounts to potential customers, those coupons are effectively worth $0. Even on the most coupons, they say this has the value of 1/100th of 1 penny.
And they do cost to create. It's like a 50 cents per coupon most of the time when a small business creates a coupon.
So basically, you're giving away. Exactly. So say you're giving away 10%. You have a coupon. It says 10%. When you come in and utilize this coupon. So someone comes in, they give you this coupon. You give them 10% off. You just lost 10% from the selling price. If you were to come in and say, hey, give me 100 Bravo, which they've earned, and then Bravo, which actually has a monetary value attached to it, instead of taking a free coupon now, you're actually getting something of value in return that you can either A, hold on to, you can B, sell it, or C, you can utilize it on our platform and market further to try to attract more business.
Yep. And that's what I think a lot of these projects need to think of, is how to be more of a sustainable ecosystem and not so much of a linear flow. You know, like a
Yep.
lot of these projects, it just flows out. Everything just flows all the way out. It never comes back in and resurfaces or recycles back in the economy or the
Hmm.
ecosystem, and it's not sustainable.
No, it's not. You need to have this sort of like circular boomerang type of style economy, or else everything's going to be going out and nothing's going to be coming in. So, it's like a careful balance of like supply and demand. And that's why, we have our coin is like the utility coin on the platform that's going to be utilized for marketing and other initiatives, because that's going to drive value and drive buy pressure onto the coin, because these businesses are going to have to buy the coin to utilize it on the
I'm
platform to use it
sure
on.
there's a maximalist out there screaming at the screen saying, well, this is just a reason that projects like this that create their own shitcoin will never accept Bitcoin because, why would you want a business to pay in Bitcoin for your push notifications when you would want them to use Bravo? And I think that is a good argument to have from a maximalist perspective. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just curious, like, what would you say to somebody that has like, why not just use Bitcoin to charge your clients to do business with and things to that effect?
Sure. And one thing that I want to quickly mention is that now we have support for Bitcoin wallets and Ethereum wallets and external support. So businesses can actually start dropping Bitcoin via our proof of location or Ethereum or even coin projects.
Holy
Like
shit!
if they want to drop, say you're an ERC20 project, and we're at Bravo Coin or you're going to be at a convention, we can actually drop your coin onto these proof of location
That's
devices
pretty
and
powerful.
make it so that you have a little presence or a little marketing capability at one of these conferences, and you don't even have to be physically present there. And we know it's all verified, it's all secure, it's going through blockchain. We're verifying the location, and that's like a pretty cool way to do marketing, for whether you're a coin project, an exchange, or a mom and pop business,
Random
whatever it may
stable
be.
coins are coming out and utility tokens for beer or pizza, right? Have you seen like the beer token
Yeah,
and pizza
yeah,
coin and stuff?
exactly.
Like
So
this is ERC, 721,
ERC20, yep.
ERC20. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Well, I think some of them are ERC 721s where they're like
721 is the
and
NFT.
yeah, they're like
Yeah.
an NFT. So you get like a picture of a pizza or a picture of a beer, but they also have the ERC 20s as well. But like this is
Yep. So we
a
can support the
bar
same
or a
thing.
pizza store could, yeah, exactly. So now you have other projects and other communities actually incentivized to educate businesses that they're tokenizing these assets of to
Hmm.
on ramp into your ecosystem. Like this is a
Absolutely.
really a communal project. You have a lot of reasons to work with instead of work against projects.
Exactly, and that's another huge thing that we can talk about at a later date, is just like the competition and the animosity that's in like between different altcoin projects, and then between Bitcoin maxis and altcoins. And it's an unhealthy environment in my opinion. And if we all just work together, we'd achieve our goals a lot faster, in my opinion.
Shout out to Bad Crypto Podcast. Joel just said Bad Crypto loves Bravo. Go at 'em. That's
Woo.
awesome. I
We
love
just
it.
set Joel up with a Bravo witness node, actually. So that was another one of the things that we've worked on recently, which is kind of cool. Is that and again, it's the whole thing of crypto and blockchain is very complex for the average user. So we wanted to make this easier for the average user. So one of the things that we're DPoS, and we have validator nodes, or witness nodes we call them, that earn crypto for validating transactions on the blockchain, and they're compensated in Bravo for doing such. But to set one of these up, you have to be somewhat technically competent, technically advanced, and you have to know how to set up a Linux VPS and compile things and get check out stuff from GitHub. And the average user just isn't going to go ahead and do it. So what we've done is I've created a automated setup script that basically just asks you a couple of questions, and it automatically configures and sets up a node for you on a Linux VPS. And then basically all you do is you just go into our app and toggle and enable witness mode in our settings, and the application notifies the blockchain of your intent to become a node. It casts the first vote for you, and pretty much you're off and running and earning Bravo passively. So it's like super easy to set up. It's almost like a master node. We call them witness nodes. That automates this process. So
This
Joel from Bad Crypto, I actually had him. I set him up on Friday, and he went through, and now he's earning Bravo passively as a result.
I have to set one of those up, man. That is awesome, and I love that you're calling it a what you call it, a witness node.
A witness node. So that's
Witness
actually
node. I mean,
that
as this technology is created and adopted and utilized and implemented, and I've said this so many times, new terminologies need to be used for explaining things differently. And you're right, it is like a masternode, but it's not.
Yep. And these are democratically elected. So basically, that's how DPoS works. So we have 50 node or 50 witness nodes can earn Bravo on the Bravo
How
network
much
in a
does
way
it cost to set up one of these?
So you need about 3,500 Bravo right now to have enough voting power to push yourself to like the top 20. And basically, I'll explain how the payouts work. So on the Bravo blockchain, we have 70, 20, 10 payouts on the block reward. 70% go to authors for author rewards, like you write a review. 20% go to curators, for people who are voting, the reviews and curating, and then 10% is allocated to block producers, or what we call witness nodes. So basically, you can earn 10% of the block rewards by being one of these witness nodes and helping secure the Bravo blockchain. And the way that these witness nodes are chosen for consensus is that we use what's called a 21 validator witness node system. So the top 20 nodes get the opportunity to produce a block and earn Bravo for every single round. And then basically, to achieve consensus, to get that 21st, because we need an odd number, we do a round robin of the remaining 30 nodes. So basically, the top 20 nodes are going to earn the most because they have the opportunity to produce a block every single time, which works out to 138 blocks a day. And then the other nodes, they don't earn as much after 21 because they're round robin, and they don't get to, they get picked randomly as it goes through.
So people actually could end up earning enough Bravo within the Bravo Coin app to actually passively do this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we've had a number of users actually do that, where they've earned enough Bravo and then they set up a node, and it's all democratically elected. So it's a weighted voting system. So once you actually set up a node, it's almost like a political campaign. The more votes that you get from people who hold more Bravo, the more that you go up in the witness node rankings. And then, like I said, the top 20 nodes earn the most. So we have users on our network now that they're almost like, it's like they're campaigning, vote for me. I have a stable VPS. I'm on.
Well,
this
if you're
great
going to vote
connection.
for anybody, vote for McLovin Crypto. That's his node. Do it.
So yeah, basically you can go to any user profile in the app. So Ken, when you set up a node, as soon as you set it up and basically declare to the blockchain that you want to become a witness node, a little button will appear on your profile in the app that says "Vote for Witness," and then any user who sees you in the app can actually vote for you and cast a vote for your witness node, and then you'll start moving up in the ranks.
How many did I need again? 5,000?
You need about 3,500, which
35?
you're actually right around there.
I got 3,270, bro. I'm so close.
So you can actually set one up with less than that. It's all a matter of getting the amount of votes that are necessary. And like I said, the more Bravo that you have, the more your vote is worth. So currently at this time period, if you have right around like 3,500 Bravo, you should have enough voting power to kind of push you at least pretty close to the top 20. But as more users start setting up nodes, as they start getting more votes, it's going to become more competitive. And you're going to start earning more Bravo as a result. So the way that we have our block rewards right now, it's tied to the amount of users that are on the blockchain. So the more users that join and sign up for Bravo, the block rewards actually go up, which means that the block producers are going to be earning.
This is for you, McLovin. Before I take this hit in honor of my bro McLovin for the 420 super chat, how do we prevent like fucking whales and shit, dude? Because like that sucks, right? Like Steemit itself, which you're a fork of, has such an issue even to this day with whales. And it just sounds like potentially that this could be game theoried into a situation where you might have whales with nodes, incentivizing votes with, hey, I'll like your reviews if you make sure my node's upvoted and like stuff like that. And I'm just curious, like, how could Bravo Coin prevent, the whale epidemic from, wreaking havoc?
So one of the things, right, like, so we forked Steemit, but we removed and customized a lot of the code. And one of the things that we did prior to going through this, this exercise, this procedure, is I went onto Steemit and I looked at tons and tons of posts of basically things that people were complaining about in the Steam system, of what didn't work properly, what was manipulated. And that's actually one of the key things that we came across, were whales manipulating the system via
creating multiple accounts that vote themselves up. And
exactly. So there was that issue. There's the issue with vesting. So we've actually removed vesting from our platform. We fixed a bug. Vesting is basically you could like power up and power down your Steam, and then you could also like delegate your power and give it to other users. And that was whales were manipulating the system a lot by doing that, by like throwing their weight around to like and giving it to like some new user or something like that. So we've removed a lot of those capabilities where you can't really game the system like that anymore. And then we have a lot of protections in place to basically make it to eliminate duplicate accounts. So I'm not going to go through all of our protections because that wouldn't be a good exercise.
You don't want to dox yourself.
But yeah, but we
OPSEC.
I come from a background of gaming things and trying to manipulate systems and figuring out how to manipulate systems. So when you go into I went into and architected this project and are set up with that mentality in mind of how could I game the system and how can I take advantage of it. So we've done a number of things to prevent that type of thing from happening. There was actually a bug in Steam's code where witnesses would you'd have a bunch of Bravo as a witness, for instance, and then you transfer that Bravo to another account and then use your witness vote again with that other account. And basically it was like a way to game the witness votes in the system. So there's certain things like that we take a look at and we're like, this isn't a very good implementation, and we modified those implementations to kind of level and make the playing field more fair.
Yeah, because that's like the first thing I started to think of as you explained the node. I was like, damn, that sounds like something I could, maybe game theory, because like unfortunately that's where my mind likes to go with a lot of these projects, is like, well, how can I break it? Because I'm not the only person that's going to think of that, right? There's
absolutely not.
People out there that if I think of a way to break it, they're probably able to do it, right? Like, exactly.
And that's another thing that why we're 100% non-custodial platform. So that's another important thing to mention. Users are in control of their own keys. You lose your keys, you lose your coins. We don't have any control over that.
And there's no KYC or anything in order to earn, exchange, and cash out either. And that's like what a lot of these projects I think are overdoing. And I'm just curious, like, how do you kind of get away with that? I'm like, is that something that you can keep up with? Could regulations potentially force projects like Bravo Coins to implement KYC?
So we consulted with Lawyer our entire time while we were developing and putting forth this project. And basically, the reason why we passed the Howey test, the reason why we're not considered a security is because we're almost like a decentralized gig economy. Users are earning for actual tasks and doing jobs. It's not like we're just giving them stuff for free or doing airdrops to wallet addresses. So I mean, even blast codes though, we actually vetted that as well. Those are users are earning them. They have to actually go forth and they have to actually like complete a task. They have to enter in the code. Okay. And not only that, it's not just like an airdrop where you're getting a 1-to-1 for a fork or something like that. It's a random amount. It basically allows you to get around some of these stipulations. So you're
using basically skill-based versus chance-based gambling.
Correct, exactly. And then when you couple it with that there's actual task involved, that it's not just we're just randomly sending out to addresses. That's basically how you start complying with the Howey test type of thing and not getting in hot water with the SEC for operating a security.
I'm happy you definitely crossed your T's and dotted your I's when it came to the legalities of things, because a lot of these projects don't, and I feel like a lot of them, again, like how you mentioned how like you kind of don't have to do this. I feel like a lot of them don't, but they also require KYC on the platforms for things, and I feel like it's just a scam. Like KYC is such a scam when it's implemented unnecessarily on platforms that are similar to like this, where you earn crypto by participating in some way, and I don't get it.
So I think and I'm not 100% sure on this because I'm not a lawyer.
Maybe because you didn't ICO, that could be.
We didn't ICO, yeah. So yeah, we didn't have these sorts of issues. We went straight to an exchange. We didn't have any private placements, no private sales or anything like that.
Fair launch. There was no like pre-mine.
No, we actually did do a pre-mine. So we have we're a permissioned blockchain. It's not like Bitcoin that's a permissionless chain or Ethereum. With graphene chains, there's an actual account creation fee to help reduce and eliminate spam. So basically, with BitShares, with Steemit, with EOS, all these graphene-based platforms, they actually pay, or whoever's creating the account pays a specific amount in that coin or token to create an account on the blockchain. So for instance, I don't know what the Steemit fee is now. I think it's about 3 Steem.
Feels
3
free.
Steem.
Free.
So basically, when you go to Steemit right now and you sign up, you have to give them like your phone number, and then they kind of go through like a manual verification process. They do like their
I couldn't even qualify for a while, bro. I had to go through a loophole.
So they vet you, and the reason why they vet you is because they pay the account creation fee from the Steemit company wallet. So basically, Steemit did the same thing. They have a pre-mine where they have coins that are allocated for these account creations. And basically, you're giving your phone number away or your email address and validating with them in exchange for them paying whatever that fee is on the chain.
You're selling your phone number. You're selling your
Pretty
information.
much. So there's ways, or you don't have to, just like on our chain, you don't have to go through Steemit.com to create an account. If you already have a Steemit account, you can load up the Steemit CLI wallet and create an account from your account and just pay the account creation fee and say, okay, I'm creating a new Steemit account. I'm paying the fee. Steemit.com's not paying the fee, so I can instantly create an account. And then there's like anonymous services that offer the same capabilities. And Steemit even lets you know about this as well. They say, if you want to pay the account creation fee, you can go ahead and do that and not go through us. And the reason that they have these account creation fees, this is all to prevent Sybil attacks, where people, abusing the blockchain and creating, tons of accounts and manipulating the network. So basically that's what an account creation fee does, is it deters that type of process from happening. And how the account creation fee is actually determined is the witness nodes actually determine how much the fee should be to sign up. So basically, as the value of the coin changes, as the amount of users on the platform change, the witness nodes can actually determine that, hey, this account creation fee is too much right now. We need to lower it, or we need to make it higher, so on and so forth.
In the chat, yeah, Bitcoin broke. You need 3,500, bro. That's definitely, we went over that earlier.
So yeah, that's like account creation fees, and that's how graphene platforms actually prevent spam and Sybil attacks.
That's interesting, man. I never really thought too far into it for that way. I just knew that, and I think it's interesting that there are services that offer, the pay that fee or whatever you can pay in Bitcoin, or sometimes
or
you can find a platform that will even accept PayPal,
there is one that they do like PayPal.
Splinterlands. You can create an account on Splinterlands, and they actually they'll pay it. So Splinterlands pays the same fee that Steemit would pay, except they don't ask for anything. They don't ask for your phone number. They don't ask for any information. They'll just pay for the fee or whatever, and you get a Splinterlands username. And that's also in the background, if you really wanted to get into the crypto part of it, you have your private, your key, your posting key, and all that stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, they're basically paying the account creation fee. It's the same process.
Now, is there anything that people could build on top of Bravo? I'm just curious, what the roadmap is for your blockchain, because I see Splinterlands is built on top of the Steem blockchain, and you're a fork of the Steem blockchain.
Sure.
Is there anything that you could build on top of Bravo blockchain, as well as a game or a fork or some other projects on top of the blockchain?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. So when we initially forked Steem, we forked at version 0.19, which was prior to them including support for SMTs, which are smart media tokens, which is basically what Splinterlands is. It's what Steam Monsters runs on. They're all SMTs.
I have my own, by the way, guys. So you can go on the Steam exchange and you could purchase Ken tokens. They exist.
Is that on OpenSea too?
There's a few on OpenSea. I have some random. I have things on Engine, on Wax, on OpenSea, on Ethereum blockchain, on the Waves blockchain. I've created tokens just to see what the process was like. I put them out there on exchanges. There's only 420 mostly. If I made them, scarce.
So SMTs. That's what Splinterlands and what Steam Monsters use. And actually, a lot of people have asked us, why didn't you build Bravo as an SMT? When we built Bravo on version 0.19, SMTs didn't exist. That didn't come out into Steam mainnet, I don't think, until within the past couple of months. I think they finally hit mainnet. So, when we were building this, the only option was really ERC20, which was not feasible, or doing this on Steam on 0.19. So SMTs didn't exist, but what we were planning on doing is that we're going to be merging that code update and pulling that down and putting in the capabilities for SMTs and pretty much NFTs on the Bravo chain, so that if a business, for instance, wants to have an NFT that we could issue to them over through the proof of location device, they'll be able to do that. So that's coming actually in a future fork that we have planned.
Dude, that would be epic. I love NFTs. They're my favorite.
And we think that's going to be huge. Like you go to like a sports arena or something like that, and you get like like the mascot in an NFT or like a
Well, not
player for
even
that
that.
team.
Imagine the esports arena in Vegas. You know, when we were out there for World CryptoCon, I went to the esports arena,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing Bitcoin on the Lightning. So it was Lightning Bitcoin prize pools for people who won in tournaments, and they had somebody at the bar, basically a concierge, was accepting crypto and was covering the tab. So like there was a way to use crypto basically to pay for your drinks and stuff, which was really cool. And I think that it would be interesting to see like these in-game assets at these like locations be able to be
Mm-hmm.
tradable, right? Like if you go on Opskins, right, or Wax, there's like these guns and car skins and whatever, these digital items that have value. There's liquidity for them, so you can just go to a business that accepts this NFT at the value that it's or whatever on the exchange, and say you have a $30 gun skin, you could go and pay
Mm-hmm.
your $30 bar tab with.
Yep. Yeah. And going back to NFTs and the NFT capabilities with our proof of location device. So we did a demo at WCC with Vesa, the artist Vesa, and
He's gonna
we
be painting me
actually
naked in Miami, I think. I'm gonna get a nude body paint. I'm excited,
all,
bro.
all I picture is like the Seinfeld painting of like George on the couch. I can see you like that on the couch.
We need a couch or a bear rug.
There
Yes.
you go. So Vesa actually had a NFT that he created for WCC of a specific painting he made, and we were actually giving out that NFT via our proof of location device. So if you came to his art booth at WCC and checked in, and you had your Ethereum address listed, in our app, you would automatically get distributed one of his NFTs to your Ethereum address.
Dude, I might have been so damn busy. I don't know if I did it. Crap. I have to
So
check. I'm gonna double check.
we're gonna do it again. I've been talking to Vesa, and we want to do this for future conferences. We think this is like a super cool way to distro out
I don't.
art.
I know I added my Ethereum address, but I don't think there was you may want to put a mention or something in there saying have an NFT capable wallet.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you have an Ethereum address, that is
Coinbase
NFT.
has Ethereum addresses. People could use their Coinbase account or an exchange account for receiving Ethereum, and if you sent an NFT or
That's
anything
true.
else to that address, it's gone.
That's true. I guess we could actually specify. But yeah, so we're gonna do that actually at future shows as well, where
That's really
basically
cool. I'm gonna do that. I have NFTs. I will do I have the wearable. If people come
yeah,
up to
you
me
can do it. You
physically,
can do
I
it
will
through
give
that.
them NFTs. That is awesome.
And that's a huge thing that that Vesa was concerned about, is that he was concerned that he was going to have this NFT to put out there, and there would be people in like Asia claiming it, and they would take all the copies before the people who were physically present at the and basically that all tied back to the proof of location and how why this is so cool and another use case for it.
Some McLovin said the big Kramer portrait was cool too. It took me a second. They're like, "What is he referencing?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, the Seinfeld thing." I won an NFT Bravo coin. Yeah, me too. Sup with OpenSea? Oh, Don, I was just saying I have some of my NFTs of myself. So I have like my logo or like business cards, and I just put them on there or whatever. So I have like collectibles I've created. If you wanted to check out OpenSea, Ken Bozak, I think they exist. You might have to request it. You can make an offer for like the exchange fee or the gas fee, and I'll just send it to you. And an engine, the team, the company, the project, the dudes who are doing so much in the NFT space actually tokenized me. So I have my own collectible on Engine as well.
I think that's going to be a huge market moving forward. Is video games and
Maybe I'll
tokenization
do
within
that.
video games, and then video games and connecting video games to blockchain.
Right,
I
because a
think that.
game could incorporate my NFT and maybe it
Oh
represents a
yeah.
car or a sword, but because you have one of the rare 420 engine Ken Bozak NFTs, because the game wanted to, I don't know, they could use this as a way to get promotion or marketing, right? Like this is a way to say like to get an influencer or a brand incorporated in your campaign as well, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
games out there that exist that have a really high user base with these NFTs, other games that give them other utility in their environments are just on ramping the same end users in. If you have all these assets in this game and they are equal to random whatever other assets in another game, you're incentivized to play the other game too now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I even foresee like, so I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 online recently. And you could like start a mission and then other people are like in it's like an open world so that you have other, people who are in the world with you and you could like do like, like a heist mission or something like that and you're driving a truck with like stolen goods or something and people can actually attack you and take your stolen goods and and mess up screw up your mission that that you're doing. I actually think that'd be like I could see stuff like this going on to like staking in the Ethereum blockchain or something like that. You're like, I'm going to stake, zero point 0.1 ETH, and basically it's up for grabs. I'm going to be able to, transfer my goods from point A to point B, and then it'll almost be like a live stakes kind of like game where people can almost like take it from you. So it's like gamified. It's almost like you're like operating this like virtual life, but you're kind of using like real money that's
Well,
involved.
that's kind
as
of
well.
what Engine is, right? Like if you're playing these games that
Yeah,
utilize
it's real
Engine,
money that's
it's
involved
real. Like
technically.
if I like a lot of the games that are using it, if I go up to you and I like stab you and kill you in like these MMORPG games that use Engine assets, you leave behind your shields and helmets and stuff.
Yeah, that's
I
worth
could
money.
melt that for Engine and there's liquidity, so I could just get Bitcoin and then cash and just
Yep.
what just
I
from
foresee it.
defeating
I
you.
think that's huge, and I think that's like a huge untapped arena, and I think that's going to be like just a blast. I think it's a way to get a lot of people into crypto because you can just have like I think gamers are the perfect demographic for
Yep.
to come into crypto, and I think if you can start creating opportunities like that and like games like that where where there's like real virtual assets that have real monetary value, I think that's huge.
And that's like the gamification of the loyalty program that you're kind of doing here with Bravo
Mm-hmm.
Coin, right? Like if three small businesses in my area are using it and accepting it and incentivizing customer engagement with it, I'm more likely to go to those three businesses now, right, than their
Absolutely.
competitors. If I go to this pizza shop, this coffee shop, and this barber, they all use Bravo Coin. So if I shop at these two pizza shops and bar or whatever, and I can eventually go get a free haircut, basically, right, from leaving reviews every time and checking in
Yep.
and doing all these things. And now there's more of a communal efforts for loyalty, communal loyalty, like for small businesses to kind of get a heads up or a footing in with this
Absolutely.
conglomerate loyalty programs that we see that are very centralized. Like we mentioned, like I could go to a franchise like McDonald's and earn all these loyalty points, but then I go to an area where there's more Burger Kings, or I decide that's what I like. I can't use that point anymore.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah, it's very you're siloed. It's very and that's why having a system like this, like an agnostic customer loyalty platform, is so powerful. And why something like this needs to be built on blockchain.
Exactly. I feel like I could keep you here forever, and I realize we've been talking forever. I'm sorry.
Do we still have people in the live chat?
Yeah, dude. There's plenty of people. Hi everybody.
So I guess we haven't bored them to death.
No, definitely not, dude. We've been going at it for an hour and a half. I mean, if I could keep bringing things up to talk about forever, but I feel like I should let you go. You're a busy dude. I always like to.
Do we want to take some questions from the chat? Does anyone have any specific questions?
Yeah. Yeah. Since you said it, I'm sure they'll hear it. There's a little bit of a delay, so I think it might be like a 5-minute delay or so. So I guess we'll filibuster. But if anybody has any questions or any topics they want us to cover, just go ahead and shout out some topics, shout out some questions, anything. Seriously, open books here. It could be totally off topic for all I care. But yeah, I wanted to open the floor to you, Adam. Do you want to ask me anything? Did you want to bring up any topics? Did you want to talk about anything in particular outside of whatever, just in general?
Sure. Okay. What do you see as the current major barrier of entrance for the average consumer to get into crypto?
I think the biggest barrier of entry is the boogeyman. Fear
like it's
of
just a scare, like it's just scary.
Fear. Well, the fear of like regulations, the fear of taxation, the fear of having it, if it will or will not be illegal. And we're talking the big picture, not just first world U.S. perspective, the world mass adoption. I think that they're just the general perspective right now is they're afraid to even get involved with crypto because of its reputation from the mainstream's perpetuation of it. Movies, TV shows, media. It doesn't really paint a very entrepreneurial picture of it. And I think that's a very unjust thing to do to the viewerships of these mainstreams, but this is the perspective. So I think right now the biggest hurdle to mass adoption that we have is just the boogeyman. The thing that people are afraid of, whatever it might be, the fear of it being drug money, the fear of losing their private keys, the fear of the IRS, the fear of taxes or whatever. Like, it's just they have something scaring them right now, and I think that that's just going to come with time. Like, a lot of people were afraid of getting the internet or using their credit cards to buy things online because the first time they ever did it, they had to get a new credit card immediately, right? Like, they had these bad experiences, and it did have a bad reputation for a really long time. Using your credit card to buy something from an infomercial over the phone or to buy something online was just stupid. You were going to get robbed or scammed, and people were worried about doing it. Now look at Amazon. Everybody buys stuff online with their credit cards. So that fear went away with time, and I think it went away with like more of a youthful embrace, and then the older generation kind of let the younger generation be the petri dish. And I think that's what the boomers are kind of letting the millennials do with this Bitcoin thing, right? They're stepping outside of it and watching the petri dish unfold, and whatever comes of it, maybe they'll adopt. But I think they're still scared. They're just watching right now. And that's just a time. We're going to take some time for that fear to kind of go away. It's all do your own research. So I think that that's a good thing that, we see people afraid of it, because then they look into it. And then they start to research their fears and get educated on them. And then we see that go away. So again, like I said, with time.
Okay. And now, do you think what do you think to get the masses into crypto? Do you think they're gonna be on custodial platforms? Do you think it's gonna be more non-custodial?
100% custodial. 100%. Like Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Coinbase, whatever. 100%. 99% of the mass adoption that we'll see will be on custodial platforms, for sure.
And that's interesting, because that's like, directly against like the ethos of like decentralization and Satoshi's white paper and Bitcoin in general of not having control over your
right.
keys.
But it's optional, and that's the beauty of it, right? True. People will opt in though to custodial. They will for sure opt in.
Absolutely. I 100% agree, because that's what they're used to, and they're concerned with,
And it will be monetized. It will be incentivized. Look what Celsius Network's doing. People earn 5 to 8% on their crypto holdings in a centralized custodial wallet. And again, they are insured, but it's a really good incentive for a custodial solution, and a lot more of those will pop up.
It's interesting to go back what you were talking about with credit cards, and how we were nervous moving over to credit cards. I remember when I was younger, when we went through that transitionary phase from personal checks to credit cards and using like debit cards. And I remember being at the grocery store when I was like 6 or 7 years old with my mother. And I remember like my dad would always use like the debit card, and like I thought it was cool because it was like this new thing. Like he'd be like, "Oh, do you want to swipe through the slot, put in the code or whatever?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, cool." It's like a video game, you're like a little kid. And I remember, my mom was like very hesitant. She was like really concerned about this technology. And I remember we were at the grocery store one day, and she was like starting to write a personal check. And I said, no, let's use this, the debit card. Let's use the card that, that dad gave you. I can even show you how to do it and go through the entire process. And it took a couple of times even for her to like trust me, like, okay, let's go ahead. We'll try this. It's a learning experience. It's a transitionary phase. And, it's like we're in that same phase right now where it's going to be, like you were saying, that younger generation that's going to lead the charge and lead the way and kind of educate and inform, the older generation of how it's done. Like you look at like, the younger generation, how, in tune they are, how growing up on iPads and growing up with smartphones, or even just in China, how everything's like, WePay, and, and they're already using these types of mobile payment solutions, and that's all they know. It's just a matter of, of that type of adoption that's going to come in, and it's going to be the youth that's going to drive that adoption, in my opinion.
Youth has always driven adoption. Look at it. Nothing trending or no fads come out of anybody in their 40s.
I mean? That's very true.
And it's all outside the box implementations of things. It's
porn. Porn drives a lot of innovation, actually, from high definition to 4K to credit card payments. It's crazy. Even crypto, it's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. And it's because porn is like taboo and like risque, so they're willing to push the envelope and try things that are new.
Their risk reward ratio is totally different. The cannabis industry, I think, has the same.
Very similar.
And I just realized that I've been educated on this about the gun industry as well. They have a lot of the same issues and hurdles.
High risk. It's considered high risk industries, and when you try to get a merchant account, and going back to the little credit card thing, if you try to get a merchant account for a high risk industry, they charge you an arm and a leg. So I know, for instance, like porn sites, they get charged like 13 to 15% merchant account fees for every transaction, because there's so many chargebacks and there's so much fraud that goes on, that's how much they have to charge in order to justify having like those types of transactions go on. And that's why porn sites are interested in switching over to like crypto or something like that, because they can avoid these crazy fees that exist. Same with cannabis. Cannabis gets charged like 7 to 9%. I mean, a lot of dispensaries don't even allow credit card transactions, but the ones that do, they get hit with like 7 to 9% per swipe, as opposed to like 3 to 4% for a traditional business.
Yep, Clint Westwood, my bro. Shout out to Clint Westwood. He says Cash App is an easy gateway to crypto. It is, but I think it's one of those misinformative gateways, right? Like you don't really get your private keys, and then you have to, with Cash App you have to submit the KYC and everything. And I think it's an interesting issue again with like people being afraid or whatever of it, like even through Cash App, like because of its reputation. Like I don't know. I don't think Cash App helped. Like legit, I don't know. I would like to see Cash App's like stats on how many people use Bitcoin on their app, but it's custodial. They don't give you your private keys. So when people get in on that on ramp, they're misinformed on actually how to use it, because they're not like educated on how to back up their keys or anything, or even told, explained, hey, this is a custodial wallet. You could send it to a non-custodial and back up your keys. So it's one of those like massive on ramps that are misleading, and also I don't think it added any legitimacy to the name.
So what's interesting is that when Coinbase came out with their Coinbase wallet and how they actually explained to you like the private key issue, and you can actually back up your private keys with an encrypted, a specific hash
on a cloud, yeah.
So you can it's actually an encrypted, your private keys are encrypted on your own Google Cloud or something like that. And
they don't
have
their cloud. It's their cloud.
No. It's your own Google Drive. You can back it up.
I thought I thought in order to unencrypt it, you have to go through a centralized something. Like it is a Coinbase decryptor.
So your private keys themselves are stored on your own Google Drive. Like you authenticate with Google, and then it backs it up to your own Google Drive, and it's encrypted using your own salt, whatever your own seed is. I believe you still need to use the Coinbase app. Like it will connect in and it'll pull it down to decrypt it. Although I'm sure, I haven't checked it, I'm almost positive they must have some sort of like CLI or open source backend, where you can still unlock and get your keys that way.
I hope so, but I don't think I've looked into it a little bit, but I hate Coinbase so much I just don't want to. But if anybody knows for sure, please let me know, because that would be nice to know. But I know that you could back it up, and from my understanding, it was a centralized encryption. In order to unencrypt it, you had to go through Coinbase. There was no way around that. So it was like, well, why even back up my keys then?
Mm-hmm. I mean, at least that's better than not backing them up at all. So they're taking the first step at least. And again, that goes back to like having a very easy to use an easy user experience. And so I can kind of understand
gateways. Bravo, that is a good point, McLovin. Bravo is a gateway dApp. Facts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Facts.
We, an interesting stat is about 60% of our user base are actually crypto noobs and have never used crypto before in their life.
You know what's funny though? They're gonna see the dApps section and see the reviews for other dApps, and now like that was a great, because it is a gateway, because you can see the other dApps that are out there.
Absolutely,
in their reviews, and now you have more users using dApps.
Yeah, we have dApps that approach us, or projects, and they list on on Bravo, and then users start reviewing it. And because, like I said, we're almost like this social network, other users become informed of these projects that exist, and then they start researching about it, and then they start they'll download Splinterlands, or they'll download Steam Monsters.
I wanted to mention this when I mentioned business authentication, but user verification as well. Like, how do people know that it is Ken Bozak that they're following, and not just, because on Twitter, I probably have like 20 fake me's out there, and Instagram, and all the same. Is there a way that Bravo Coin could have like a verification process for their users, so you can see like, I am verified on Bravo Coin, these are legit reviews?
So, someone else asked that question recently on a Twitter thread. I believe it was a Twitter thread, no, it was actually.
Well, I just don't want to see a fake me leaving shitty reviews.
Oh yeah,
for dApps I
absolutely.
Like.
That's a completely
or the other way around, because that would be worse. Leaving good reviews for shitty dApps.
That's a completely legitimate request, and it was a oh, it was a YouTube video that someone had commented on. They asked me about this, and they asked if we incorporated like Civic or anything like that into Bravo for authentication. And I said, we haven't yet, but I would consider doing like key-based authentication. You know what Keybase is? Keybase is a decentralized key management system where you can like pretty much say that you like authenticate your personal information. So basically, like you connect to Keybase, and then you go to like Keybase will be like, okay, post a Twitter post saying that I'm Ken Bozak, and then all of a sudden it will scan your Twitter feed to be like, okay, we know that this is Ken Bozak's official Twitter feed. You can do it through like all your social networks, cool. And then those keys are stored. It's like a centralized key management system that Keybase that operates through Keybase.
That is really cool. I didn't know that was out there. But it doesn't show like, I'm Keybase verified on Twitter.
No, it will. It will. So basically, if you go to like your Keybase profile, it will show like
but
your Twitter
profile. But not on
profile.
Twitter though, right?
No. Because then Twitter would have that functionality like connecting
exactly,
to the Keybase
but
API
that's what you're going to be able to do, right? Integrate.
Correct. So at least we can link over to Keybase or something like that, and you can be like, oh, this is actually the legitimate profile of Ken or whoever, and we could utilize some sort of like ID authentication system like that, or even maybe if there comes like biometrics blockchain.
Well, that's what I was going to mention. Civic. Have you looked at what Civic was doing with Vinny Lingo?
I have a general understanding of how Civic works. I would probably need to do like a little bit more of a deep dive into it, but like something like that, we could totally implement that. I mean, that's just an authentication protocol and connecting it to their their API and then verifying it. We could totally do something like that, and that's completely in the realm of possibilities. We already offer the capability for users to sign up for Bravo with a Facebook account, with a Google account, or with a Steemit account. So really, they can already authenticate with those accounts if they already have them, and then it'll create that account based upon it.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to see a way to create an account with Civic and get that like verified badge like right away. That'd be cute. Oh, we did get a question. I did want to make sure I brought it up because it was from McLovin, and he said, "Are Bravo actually mined, or are they produced on creation like ERC20?"
So Bravo is created as a block reward, and then basically the rewards are allocated to a pool, and then this pool. So basically, it's called a cash out pool or a rewards pool. So basically, this rewards pool has tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Bravo. And then depending upon what reviews, what posts, what likes, whatever was submitted during that window or that time frame gets allocated and sliced accordingly. And then at the end of this period, so it's called a 7-day cash out window. So whenever you post a new review or you like a review or you post a comment, it takes 7 days for you to accrue Bravo to the point where you can actually cash out and it comes back to your wallet. So basically, that's how the system works. Whenever blocks are written, there's a block reward. Like I said, it's a 70-20-10 split. 70% goes to the authors, 20% goes to the curators, 10% goes to the witness nodes and the block producers. And then the 70 and 20 component is then sent over to that rewards pool and then sliced up accordingly. And that's basically how Bravo works.
And that's how babies are made.
And that's how little Bravos are made.
All right, Adam, let's wrap things up here. Let people know where they can find you and participate. Is there any like bounty programs outside of the blast codes? And somebody did mention this earlier, and I cannot remember who it is. I'm sorry for not giving you credit. Probably fucking McLovin. They said they mentioned it would be a really interesting like entrepreneurial business incentive to be able to go out and basically encourage businesses to be listed on Bravo and engage in it and accept it. Is that something that could be done where you could have like Bravo ambassadors out there like on ramping? Is there a way to create like a bounty system with like the reserves that you have in Bravo where there could be like those bounties where if you get a business to do this and accept Bravo, you earn a bounty of Bravo?
Absolutely. So we already have a couple of systems in place. Right now we have an affiliate system in place. So you can go to the application and go to your profile and invite a friend. There's a link in there, and then basically every person that you get to sign up using your link and completes one review, you receive 10 Bravo coin in return, and then you actually get 10 Bravo coin for signing up. So that's from like the user perspective. We're implementing something here very shortly where you can have an additional link that you can give to businesses. And if a business claims their profile and then signs up, you're going to get even a heftier Bravo reward, because we consider businesses, a better profile to have than, a user. So yeah, that actually is something that's going to be in place, and you're going to be rewarded for getting these businesses to sign up. And it's almost like we're going to have like a little Bravo like ambassador team or like sales team that can go out and like,
Right.
try to get these businesses onboarded. And not only that, another thing that we've implemented already, and it's actually available as soon as businesses come on board and claim their profile, is that we have coded referral links. So basically, a business can determine once they sign up for a profile, they can say like, I'm going to give away 10 Bravo for these referrals. So then you go ahead and you send me a link through the Bravo app. You say, I want to share this coffee shop with Adam. It's a super cool coffee shop. Or I want to share this dispensary with Adam. And then I get a notification in the Bravo app. When I click on that, it notifies in our system, hey, that's an affiliated coded link. When I go and I go to that location, the proof of location device is going to detect that the coded link, that I'm within proximity, and it's going to reward you with 10 Bravo for referring me.
Oh, cool.
And then it's going to reward me as well for checking in. So then from a business perspective, they have an incentive to do this. They know that they're getting like a paying customer that's going to come to their location. And then they have an incentive, to go ahead and reward you for driving that business to them.
Now, they also have the incentive, right, to get each customer to engage with the network using like their business's affiliate link, because they're getting a couple hundred sats or a couple thousand sats worth of Bravo, right?
Absolutely.
100 Bravo. And somebody said 800 something sats, so holy shit. So I mean,
it's not too bad for.
Is that a fixed number though? I wanted to mention, like, is that 100 Bravo that people get for bringing on a friend, is that like a fixed number, or
so
is
right now,
that, like,
right now
what if Bravo went up? Do I still get the 100 Bravo for each friend?
So right now it's 10 for friend.
Or 10.
It's obviously gonna fluctuate depending upon what Bravo, the value of Bravo. So like if Bravo obviously is $10 a coin, we're giving out $100 for every single friend that signs up may be a little ridiculous. So it's definitely going to have to fluctuate a little bit depending upon. So it's not ridiculous, but we want it to be a big enough incentive so that users actually start, that are incentivized, that they want to bring people on board. So it needs to be enough to encourage people to, make the effort to introduce, people to the platform.
Maybe make it like I don't even know if you need a smart contract for that, but you could make it so it's paired to the volatility. So as Bravo goes up, less is earned. So it's like it's sort of like a first come first rewarded the most incentive, obviously, as it would be, but you could actually see like the live metrics, like, oh, Bravo went up 10%, so maybe you earn one less Bravo per friend you're inviting now, which is a good and it's a bad thing because people are like, oh, I'm only earning less, but it means it's worth more.
Exactly, and that's the whole value proposition, with Bravo and with the coins, is that you're earning more coins now, but hopefully the value of the coins go up so that you're going to technically be earning less coins in the future, but you may be earning the value is maybe is either going to be the same or more. Right. And that all goes into the way that our emissions curve is, and we actually have a halving event that comes up in next year, so we have a number of things to kind of gamify and reduce supply and kind of hopefully increase the value of the coins as a result.
Dude, I don't do many 2-hour long podcasts like ever, but this has probably been one of my favorite conversations so far this year, man.
Thanks, man. I love doing all these different interviews, and I talk at like a freaking rapid rate. So the amount of content that we can cover in 2 hours is probably like 2 Irishman movies. We probably it's like 6 hours worth of content that we went over in a 2-hour period.
Yeah, I would love to see how long it's going to take all these platforms to turn it into the text, because I have it like on whatever platforms do it. I have it so it goes in and gets transcribed.
Oh, transcribed.
For the hearing impaired. Yeah, so I bet that's going to take a while to get processed. All right, guys, go check out bravocoin.com, and I don't have my referral link ready, so
you should post it in the video.
Well, everybody watching, if you have one, post it in the comments, and people will use yours. So
there you go.
That's my gift to you.
It's a giving and sharing community.
Exactly.
That's what we love. We love that in Bravo. And yeah, once you join Bravo, or if you're already a Bravo member and you haven't joined our Telegram group, you should really join our Telegram group. And every user who joins our Telegram group gets showered with welcome gifts of Bravo. They get friend requests. So check out our Telegram group. It's t.me/Bravo_coin.
Yeah, do that, guys. If you do the Telegram chatty stuff, I am on Twitter, so find me on Twitter, DM me there. I can't do any other chats, unfortunately. I feel like a dick when I say it, but I just can't do it.
And follow us, follow BravoCoin on Twitter too.
Yeah,
and
do it on Twitter.
That's how you guys will find out about blast codes. So if you're not following us already, we release blast codes periodically, like 1 or 2 a week, and you just got to follow us on Twitter. And I give notice about them either a couple of hours to maybe a day before, and then we randomly release these codes, and they're valid for a certain period of time, and then they expire. Oh, and that's another quick thing to mention: the code today, the Ken is your bro.
I'll post it again one more time.
So Ken is your bro. Make sure you do that blast code. It expires tonight at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's only valid for today.
All right, guys. So make sure you go and download the BravoCoin app and put in the blast code. Ken with 2 N's is your bro, and you'll get a random amount. What's the maximum random amount?
On this one, it's 25 Bravo is the max.
Oh, cool. I think somebody got the max then. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's like you're in like the upper like 99th percentile if you got that.
All right, I want to take my shot at it as soon as we get off of here. Dude, much appreciate you coming on. And are you going to be at any conferences, or is Bravo going to be present at any events in 2020? I feel like we talked so much, I forgot to ask about your fucking roadmap as far as it went to like presence-wise at events.
We'll have to do another get together here and go over some more stuff for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, we're gonna be at we're not gonna have a booth, but we're gonna be at East Denver, which is February 14th to the 16th. We'll be hanging out there and walking around and meeting, greeting people, and talking a little bit about Bravo and some other things that we got going on. So if anyone's gonna be at East Denver, come give us a shout out. We'll have some Bravo swag as well, and proof of location devices with us, so you can get some free Bravo.
I like McLovin used a bit.ly address and used /earn Bravo as the hyperlink. Clever boy. What? Genius. Respect. That's next level shill. Like people don't like to click really long links, especially ones that have the word referral in them. And
oh yeah.
Bit.ly is key for that.
Hiding it in tiny URLs.
Yup, respect. I have to give him respect for that.
So yeah, bro, I hope we'll see you there at ETH Denver.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get out there. Yeah, for sure.
ETH Denver is an awesome conference. If anyone else is interested in it, I highly recommend it. It's definitely like more of like a grassroots type of environment, and
I just want to talk to the community straight up about like their progress with Ethereum 2.0 and their recent attacks and everything that's been happening, and just get more of like a communal vibe of it, less of a media vibe.
I think you should totally go there and record some sessions there, and I think you'll be highly surprised and highly impressed with the community that it draws.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have to go on the. I wasn't gonna go to too many events this year, but I mean I have to go to Colorado again. I have to. I mean, shout out to Potcoin. Gotta go to Colorado again. All right, guys. Thank everybody for tuning in, and I hope you got your free Bravo with the blast code Ken is your bro, because basically got paid to watch the live stream today, and it was a long one, so you earned it, guys. Much appreciate everybody. Yeah, Ivan, I gotta fix my internet. I will. Okay, I gotta get a Ethernet cable from one room to the next. I'll drill a hole through a wall. I'll make it work.
There you go.
Make
it happen.
Yeah,
make it happen.
This wasn't right. I'm sorry for the quality, guys. I apologize, but the content.
Content trumps quality all the time.
Right? Come on, guys. All right. Big shout out for all the super chats. Thank you, Amina and McLovin, and I guess I'll give you guys one more for the road. Have a day.
Thanks, man. Take it easy. Bye, everyone.
Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, MonarchToken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like SOME.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out to the sponsors of the podcast, monarchtoken.io, the complete crypto solution. Monarch Wallet is now available for Android, iOS, and desktop devices today. Do you want to learn how to mine crypto? Well, all you have to do is visit cryptomining.tools for profitable crypto mining information today. The Divi Project, that is diviproject.org, your one-click solution for staking and masternodes. Earn cryptocurrency using social media platforms like Somi.social, SOMEE.social, New Era Social Media. Get paid to write reviews, like reviews, comment on reviews. Visit bravocoin.com and get paid to review. Available for Android and iOS devices. bravocoin.com. CoinFlip, the world's best Bitcoin ATM. Better service, better fees. Better visit coinflip.tech today. Shout out. I'm a shill, shill.